could completely ignore the outline of a dick when it was right in front of him, even if said dick also belonged to a complete dick. At least Dylan had fallen asleep in his jeans at his computer. He might not be wearing a shirt, but in the shadowy room, it wouldn't be noticeable that those jeans were suddenly tighter. No, Dylan, remember, this man is not for you. Dylan had only been staying in the upstairs apartment for a few months, but the several mortifying run-ins he'd already had with Derek Chang had settled Dylan's opinion of him. And based on the parade of men who had been exiting Derek's apartment on a regular basis, even a version of Dylan not coated with demolished drywall muck was not Derek's type. Whatever muscle responsible for cringing felt as sore and sprained as the rest of Dylan's body. Running a hand over his slimy hair, Dylan forced his attention from the man in the corner and up to the gaping ceiling hole. The lingering shock and exhaustion must have fried his brain because Dylan said the first and absolutely most asinine sentence he could have thought to say. "I think there's an 'it's raining men' joke in here somewhere." The sound of dripping counted the silent beats passing between them. A hoarse huff came out of Derek. Wait, was that a laugh? But with just the best timing ever, another small section of ceiling collapsed, sending yet another plume of dust into the space between the two men, prompting Derek to shield the dog with his broad torso. The huff, or almost laugh, or whatever Dylan's overly optimistic brain had thought it was, shifted to become a growl worthy of a morally gray hero in a fantasy novel. Derek straightened, and the small pillar of light from the hallway illuminated an infuriatingly attractive scowl so stormy, Dylan was even more sure he'd imagined that initial laugh. "Dad jokes? Really, dude?" Derek scratched behind his dog's floppy black ears. "He's traumatized now. Poor fella." Derek kneeled beside the beast, mumbling again in the tone an elderly auntie uses on a toddler before booping said toddler's button nose. "Traumatized? His monster tail just whacked me in the face because he was wagging it." Dylan ducked away. "He's frail." Derek slid his hand over the dog's spine. "Arthritis. And he's probably just happy he didn't get crushed to death. That Dalmatian crossed with a polar bear could probably withstand an entire iceberg." Scathing. That was the word for the look Derek was giving Dylan. "He's a Harlequin Great Dane American Bulldog mix." Derek waited an inscrutable beat before frowning. "And he's old. And why the hell are we arguing about whether or not my poor, sleeping, elderly dog could have been hurt by half a ceiling and a whole-ass human man falling on top of him?" Derek's words were more bewildered than furious. "And the ceiling... shit." His hand kept petting the fur, but he was focused on the tableau of destruction. Every muscle in Derek's body tensed again. Damn. How often did this guy go to the gym? Dylan ignored the stinging, sharp pain that lightened from his palm and pushed himself off the destroyed mattress. Between his hand and the dull agony around his ribs, he felt lucky to make it upright without actually crying, and he offered himself the manliest sort of mental self-congratulations on that feat. He could almost imagine his two oldest brothers in his ear yelling, shake it off, man up," like every time he'd gotten clobbered in pee-wee hockey by one of the 8-year-olds who looked like they took baby doses of HGH. Dylan pointed above him. "Wait, I think I know why it..." Slippery warmth dripped from Dylan's wrist to his forearm. The slice across his palm was leaking much more than he expected. Spots sparked in his vision. What was he saying? A rubber band tightened around his sternum. It was so hot all of a sudden. "Nope." I think..." His ears popped like he was too deep underwater. His body vanished beneath him. Derek's low voice grumbled, "Oh, Jesus Christ." Then everything went black. Chapter 2. Dylan's chest heaved. Strong arms were wrapped around his waist and shoulders. His cheek was pressed.